Hey guys, welcome to M&M IELTS. Today's video is about some important vocabulary words that I have for all of you. So I would recommend you to use these words in your IELTS writing. You can also use them in your IELTS speaking, but when you use them in your IELTS writing, it will help you to get your desired score and it will help you to get your band 8 for IELTS writing. So let us see what these 10 words are, because these 10 words are something every student should use, and let us understand their meaning and also see how we can use them. So let's get started. Now, these are the first few words that I have for you. Let us start from the very first one, alleviate. Now, alleviate, a lot of people confuse alleviate with elevate, which is Elevate. Now, elevate is something different. It's like elevator, to raise something. But this alleviate sounds similar, but the meaning is actually opposite. Alleviate means to make it less severe. So, like for example, the doctor gave me medicines to alleviate the pain in my body. So to make it less intense, less severe. So these two words, they sound similar, but their meaning and their usage is absolutely opposite. The next is adopt. Now, adopt means to build something like an habit, okay? You are adopting something. Now, if I want to say that I have recently adopted a habit of exercising 4 days a week, that means you have absorbed that habit and you are actually using it, you are actually doing it. So adopt can be used in that ways. Instead of just saying I'm doing this or I have started a new habit, instead of saying that, just say I have adopted a new habit. That just makes it a little more fancy. And vocabulary is all about using sophisticated words in your language to show that you have a sound knowledge of your language. Okay, next is articulate. Articulate means to express something confidently and fluently. Let's say there is a newsreader. The newsreader was able to articulate the message to the audience. Now, what am I trying to say here? Instead of saying telling the message to the audience very nicely, I would say articulate, because when I say articulate, it means you were able to express something very nicely, which is fluently, confidently, clearly. And that is a very good word to use. And I like this word a lot. Articulate. Next is incorporate. Now, incorporate means to include something as a whole. Okay. If you have incorporated something, I have incorporated a balanced meal of protein, carbohydrates, and fat in my regime, I would say. So that means you have absorbed something again in your daily routine. In your entire daily routine, you have incorporated, included something as a part of it. So again, a word that is very good to use, especially when you write your essays or when you write your letters. Next is to mitigate. Now, mitigate means again to reduce the intensity of something. So, let's say the bank manager mitigated the risk by completing all the fraud checks. So, when you've completed all the fraud checks, the risk factor has gone down. It's less intense now, less severe, which means they have mitigated the risk. Again, a word that I like to use a lot instead of saying have reduced, right? So instead of saying reduced, use mitigated. Again, a very good word. Next list. This list is again of 5 words. The first one is substantiate. Now, substantiate means having proof, having strong evidence to prove something. Let's say, for example, when you look at news or when you read newspapers, you know how sometimes they say allegedly killed someone. Allegedly killed. Allegedly means what? Allegedly means they don't have the proof for it, and hence they can't say that this person has killed this person, because otherwise, there can be a charge against them. They can be behind bars for calling someone a criminal when there is no proof against that person. So rather, they would say allegedly killed that person, which means we are not too sure because there is no proof. So when you want to present proof, you would rather use substantiate. So let's say, for example, what lawyers do in court. Lawyers were able to substantiate the evidence regarding the murder that happened on Friday night. So what you're trying to again say is, instead of using proof or evidence, you just use the word substantiate when you have to use legal terminologies, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Next is viable. Now, viable means someone who's capable of working hard or someone who's capable of completing something successfully. So that is viable. So instead of saying that, I knew this person could do it, you can rather say this person, or let's say John. John is viable of completing this task, and his manager knew it, and hence the manager assigned that specific task to John. So John's manager has an understanding that John is viable to complete the task. John knows how to complete the task successfully. So instead of using that, you can use viable. John is viable to complete the task. Next, sustain. Now, sustain, we normally know what is sustain. Like, we have heard the word sustainability. From that, we should be able to understand the meaning of sustain. Sustain means you do something so that you can be there consistently and forever over the period of time. Now, let's take an example. Alex knew very well that he has to work hard consistently in order for him to sustain in corporate world. Okay, like survive, for example. So if you want to sustain in that world, he has to work hard time and again, and he has to prove that he's viable to finish the tasks allocated to him, assigned to him, right? So these are the words that you can use in your sentences, and you can just make your sentence look very sophisticated. Next is optimize. Optimize means to make the best out of something, to take the best out of something out. So for example, the employers are aware of how to optimize the efforts of their employees. So they know very well how to take the best out of a specific employee, and every employee is different. So they know what person can do what. So this sort of a conversation, optimize word is a good word to use. And the next is something opposite of optimize. So what optimize is a positive word. Impose is a very negative word. So impose means if I'm imposing something on you, it means like I'm forcibly asking you to stop something. It's not a request, it's a force. Okay. So impose means you are asking someone to stop something forcibly. Negative word. So let's say the government had imposed strict actions and laws for people who were trying to enter the park after 8 p.m. at night. Something like that. So because things didn't work out in the straightforward way, a law had to be imposed. Actions had to be imposed, okay? Forcibly applied so that people don't go there. So again, a negative word, but it can be used for different circumstances like the one we just discussed. So this list was for 10 words, but what I've thought is every now and then I'll just share 10 words in like every video, because if I just share 50 words today, you will not be able to remember these words. So what I would suggest is write down these 10 words, write down their meaning, and try to use them deliberately in your everyday communication, maybe with your family, maybe with your friends, maybe with your partner, anybody you live with. You should actually start using these words in your everyday communication. If you don't use them, you will never be able to recall when you actually need them. You will never be able to keep them in your memory for long time. So the best way to make sure that your vocabulary level increases, or your vocabulary level elevates, okay, elevates, elevates, this time it's elevates, is by actually using it every single day. And I would make a list of those words which I like, and I would just note it down on a piece of a paper and just put it somewhere in my room, and then make sure that, okay, today I have to use these 5 words in the entire day. And that's how you learn. Okay, so I will keep on sharing these sort of lists with you. But yes, if you want to see more and more words, you can always put that in the comment section. Or if there is any word that you like using but you're not sure how to use it, then you can always put that word in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to make videos on such words as well. With that, all the best, and bye for now.